It's enough, I think. It's enough, I think.
Happening in Gaza right now is unprecedented. We do not accept this genocide. We do not accept the illegal occupation and siege and apartheid state. How can we expect a world that lets that happen? How can we expect that world to take a few steps back to prioritize ecology or the future of our biosphere and living planet? There can be no climate justice on occupied land, no climate justice without social justice. The fight for climate justice is just as much a fight against the fossil fuel industry as much as it is a fight against the military-industrial complex. Sure, international law has proven in practice to almost mean close to nothing. That leaves us with nothing but impunity for those who are deliberately causing genocide and ecocide. How many people have to die before we decide that, okay, this is the right moment? So it falls on us as communities, as human rights defenders, to take that responsibility to say and do what needs to be said and done. There is simply no other option to do everything you can to demand accountability. Israel is using starvation as a deliberate weapon, and the Freedom Flotilla Coalition has made a promise to Palestinians that they will continue to do everything they can to break the siege of Gaza and to protest and stand in solidarity with Palestinians. And that promise is being kept. The voyage that is embarking now has humanitarian aid on it and has the aim of continuously trying to break the illegal siege that Israel has on Gaza and to open a humanitarian corridor. All eyes on deck. Sign the petition. Demand a safe passage for the Freedom Flotilla volunteers and its aid. Share this video and follow the mission, and do your part to speak up for justice for Palestine.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. This is an intense week that's happening right now.
Well, I just want to welcome everyone to the Green Live Stream. I'm your host, Edie Arndell, and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Scott Free, is here with me, as always.
How's it going?
That's so powerful.
And I'm not sure when she made that, but obviously that's the big news this week. Greta's on the Freedom Flotilla, also called what's the other name of it? Because
the name of the ship is the Madeleine.
Madeleine.
Yeah. And we're gonna play some stuff about it later. There's a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. There's some kind of shift happening in the world. People have had it. The governments are, like she was saying, the governments are, doing nothing. So the people have to. I did want to, I wrote down the little thing because I think a lot of people, not our audience so much, because I think our audience kind of gets it, but a lot of people don't understand the connection. Why so many people are so upset about Gaza. Number one is challenging our humanity, but it's also very much connected to why we can't get anything done in this country. From the money that gets sent to promote war and starvation and killing children and civilian populations around the world, and especially in Gaza right now, billions and billions of dollars that leave the country that don't get spent on anything here that we already want. And the training of our police forces by the IDF, which is the technique that was used on George Floyd, was an IDF technique, kneeling on the neck. Yeah, that's where they learned it. To just, so many things, people getting disappeared without due process. We're turning into a police state authoritarian, and it really matters. And this is the place we need to stand up, because this is the call of stopping a Holocaust of our time. If we don't stand up for this, we're not going to stand up for anything.
Right.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And while the video is playing, you heard a little noise. I've been trying to keep up with what's happening. Telegram, the Freedom Flotilla on Telegram has a live feed. So because unfortunately, things are just happening, minute by minute. They were actually bombed last night, I think it was, right? There was
Mhm.
and so we've got a little video footage of them. Do you want me to put that up now?
Yeah, I just wanted to comment.
Yeah.
So this is Greta Thunberg. You know her from a while back. She sat outside. She's for climate justice. You know, if you remember her, she's world famous. And then the other guy is Irish actor Liam Cunningham. Any Game of Thrones fans in the room? He was Davos Seaworth, the guy that lost his fingers. So just wanted to comment on that. So it and it's people like this that bring awareness to it, so they'll get covered. That's why they do it. I think they're incredibly brave.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
go
mean
ahead
this
and play the.
is yeah, and this is the ultimate, right? For I'm not big on celebrities, and
No,
Greta is my number one celebrity right now, and she will probably stay because this is putting your own life on the line.
it's
They're
using
up
it for a greater good.
and they're up
Um,
against the Zionist Nazis. So I mean,
yeah,
these people will kill. I mean, they bombed the thing last night. So anyway,
yeah.
here's the
Well, give me
footage.
1 second. They're gonna keep saying the conscience, but I think the woman that's talking is under a lot of stress. Obviously, they did bomb the other ship that was going to head out before it
Oh,
even left the harbor, and that was called the Conscience. So she's a little.
no, it did leave the harbor. It was out there, and they bombed it, and
Oh
it was Malta that didn't let them back in. They were closest to
no,
Malta.
a previous ship.
Oh,
A
okay, I've got it
previous
wrong
ship
then.
never even made it out of the harbor.
Ah, and that was
Yeah.
called
So I
Conscience.
think she's a little, you know,
Okay,
understandably. Go ahead.
all right. Let me try to get it going here.
We we have been attacked. Just a few minutes back, some drones attacked the Conscience. We are asking emergency relief to the Maltese authorities.
You got bombed.
Open up!
You got bombed. 14 miles far from Maltese port. I don't know what to say. We got bombed. You see the holes over here? Oh my god. Oh my god.
So now that I'm watching the video, I'm wondering if it is the previous one, because he said 5 miles from Malta port, and I think they're much further now. There actually was that picture that you wanted to bring in. Maybe I'll try to bring that in, because
Let me see.
there's even there's some footage of or there are places where you can go to see where it's being monitored. You can see it in real live, the location. I'm not going to be able to get that up now because
Oh, it's okay.
unfortunately I would have to
Yeah.
export it.
So maybe that is that, but the way they posted it, it looked like it was
Yeah, the post just
recent.
came
So,
up.
well,
So
either way.
yeah, they did get bombed last night, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still in similar situation. They're still going. That they
And
didn't sink it.
yeah, and there was a blackout for a while, which made everybody panic. Do you have an update from Telegram or no?
Not really. I
Okay.
just had to shut it down. I didn't want
Yeah,
the text
too
stuff to
distracting.
mess
You're
up.
like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was running for a while. It was black. Now it is running. But yeah, if folks want to go to Telegram, I just learned this for those folks. We're older and we have issues with tech, so it drove me nuts for like 2 years that I couldn't. There's no search on Telegram. So what you do is you just go Google what you're looking for and say Telegram and the name of it, and that will get you into. Because a lot of people use Telegram, and I wish I was using it more. But anyway, that Freedom Flotilla is happening live on Telegram right now. So
Yeah.
highly recommend people find that.
But we do have some good news. So if you want to stick around, don't leave. I just wanted to mention the crawl. We're only 3 people away from our 500 goal. So we're very excited. So you got to ask the question, why are these people risking their lives? They're famous. I'm sure they're fine. Why are they going to such extraordinary lengths and risking their lives? You know, I can't stand the snark on, on social media about it. Well, what'd they expect? Well, yeah, that's easy for you to say sitting in your comfortable wherever, not doing anything but, being sarcastic. They literally are putting their bodies on the line to stand up to Nazis.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, there's no other way to look at it. Maybe it's a different name now, but it is the same idea.
There are
It is the
millions
extermination of a
similarities.
people.
There are millions of similarities. You can't believe the similarities. That's what this is. It's a Holocaust done by Nazis. Yep.
Yep.
I have the Democracy Now! If we want to play that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long you want to go, but we'll go for it.
Israel has threatened to raid your ship. We know what happened to the Mavi Marmara more than a decade ago when the Israeli military raided the ship and killed 9 people on board. Where are you now in the sea? What's happened with these migrants? And how do you plan to challenge the Israeli blockade of Gaza?
Thank you so much for having the Flotilla here on Democracy Now! For us, it's an honor. You do a very important work. We are here somewhere in the Mediterranean, actually 500 nautical miles from Gaza. If we would go to the north, we will be going to Crete in Greece. If we would go to south, we will be going to Egypt right now. And we are on the 6th day of a journey that will end on Monday, likely on the morning to get to Gaza. That's our estimated time of arrival. And we are right now with 12 people. Spirits are high, and we are carrying life-saving aid, food, medicine, crutches, prosthetics for amputated children, water filters. And we're doing our best here to be useful for the solidarity movement for Palestine. We are a non-violent direct action mission that not only wants to break the siege, the illegal siege that Israel has put Gaza for 18 years, but also wants to create a people's humanitarian corridor so that all countries, all organizations, institutions, and the social majorities of the world can help and can be in support of the Palestinian people. People cannot stand anymore seeing children starving to death, and it's in their hearts the idea of doing something, and we're part of this doing something collectively with all the demonstrations, all the global uprising, dock workers blocking the cargo vessels to Israel. So many people doing amazing things, disrupting arms factories, breaking the media blockade and spreading true information about the genocide of 8 decades. So we're part of the same thing. And yesterday we received a Mayday call from a boat that was rapidly deflating, and we managed to rescue four of these people. Unfortunately, the rest has been taken and illegally deported back to Libya from Libyan so-called Coast Guard. But the 4 of the ones that we managed to rescue, they were sent to the Coast Guard, and we are asking for refugee for them in Greece. So this was something that happened we did not expect. We sailed for 2.5 hours doing search and rescue operation, despite the fact that only a few of our members here are trained in search and rescue operation, but life comes first. So we changed our course completely yesterday to do and attend to this Mayday call. And in the end, we did what we could, and we were very happy that we managed to rescue 4 people from the water. And the Mediterranean, being on the water, means death very, very fast. So we're glad that we did.
Tiago, we just have another minute, but I wanted to ask you about Latin American solidarity with Gaza. You're a Brazilian activist. Why you decided to come from Brazil?
Yes, I come from a place where imperialism always plays a decisive role. My country suffered two military coups, and both of them had the support of the United States. And so it's important that we understand that imperialism and Zionism, they are the greatest evils of our generation, and we need to defeat them wherever we can. And Palestine is now the strategic place for all peoples to unite and fight against oppression, exploitation, and the destruction of nature. But they have been threatening us for many, many years. For 17 years, any flotilla mission that tried to reach Gaza has been threatened by them. but we will not bow to their threats. We do not need their permission. This is international waters, and we're going to Palestinian territorial waters. So we're going not with their permission, but with the help of millions and billions of people that know that starving children to death is wrong, that bombing hospitals, shelters, and schools is wrong, and that's what we are counting on. They cannot defeat us by force. If they attack us, we'll have thousands of people on the next flotilla, and they will understand, like all oppressive regimes understand in the end, that they cannot beat the people's true force, that people's power is the ultimate power, and love and solidarity can beat any hateful, racist, and supremacist ideology like Zionism.
And
Wow, that is fantastic.
Right.
I mean, and it's just incredible that, like he said, he's been doing this for 17 years. I mean, I think, you know, the activist world has been on Gaza for years and years. And, you know, October 7th now made it, you know, the word got out to the whole world. And, yeah, it's incredible. So today, and he said that they arrived Monday morning, of course, the time difference. So I'm going to say Sunday evening, sometime here in America is when they will arrive.
Yeah. Joe said, yeah, that post that we showed was a little confusing. Joe
Yeah.
says, what's up, Joe? Madeleine has not been bombed per 3 hours ago.
Okay.
And
All right.
and thanks for being here, Brian. Now you have two people that you brought, I'm assuming. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I feel like I've been having this in the back of my mind for a while. Like, they're not, you know, the UN has let us down. The ICJ, the ICC has let us down. All of the governments around the world have let us down. They're not doing anything. If they, what is it? The newer saying, the young people say, if they wanted to, they would, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to. That's why nothing is happening. So now it's up to us. And you as an individual can do things. I kind of feel like maybe we should bring this up next.
I have the
here's one thing we can do.
Yes.
As Greens, we decided to, I mean, this was Scott's idea originally, and we work well together, so we put spins on each other's things. But General Strike for Palestine, June 7th, that's today. Just don't shop.
Right.
You know, don't shop, stay home. Spread this graphic around. It is available on ilgp.org right there at the beginning. Post it around, and then once I think a tipping point is happening. There's so many things wrong that once, you know, enough people decide to go on strike, then you can do the call in sick and stay home.
Yeah, obviously it needs to be much bigger for those to have an effect. But today, of all days, I mean, there is so much that you can be posting online on all your social medias about the Freedom Flotilla and about what we're going to talk about next, which is the March to Gaza. So absolutely, there are tons of things that you can find and share and post because the awareness needs, I mean, we are hitting a pitch right here.
Or hit the street today.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, go to your town square, your wherever.
Absolutely.
And just stand there and scream "Free Palestine."
there was
my shirt.
Yes, free Palestine. There was the post. I think we shared it a while back about how, you know, some government official said, you know, we can handle a protest, a big protest. What we can't handle is 1,000 small protests. So, I mean, I hadn't thought of that before. That's a really, really.
Like,
I'm glad they let us know. Right? No, it's true.
Which way do we go?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, you can bring that up if you want. So I was going to read a little bit about it. So, yeah, there's some questions and answers, but this is international. It's just from individuals. There's a global march to Gaza happening. You have to pay your own way, so you can depend on your community to maybe help you. They're walking together to open roads to life for Gaza, global march. It's not so some of the answers. Is Global March to Gaza a political movement? No. Global March to Gaza is a civic, apolitical, and independent movement. We do not represent any political party, ideology or religion. We represent the people in all their diversity and humanism. Our only guiding principles are justice, human dignity, and peace. Is it going to be forcibly entered? No, they're peaceful. It's a pressure campaign.
And I wanted to show just all of they have, if you're going to represent your nation, they have the nations down below, which I thought was really cool. Now, again, I don't know the background of this. I think everything put together is fantastic, that the fact that these are all happening at the same time. I mean, we're going to talk about a march that's coming in from the occupied area into Gaza, which I think is stronger than the Egyptian side, only because, Netanyahu would love nothing more than everybody just leave and go to Egypt. So, but I mean, it's fantastic that people are organizing, getting together, taking action.
I love this. Like all these different countries.
Yeah.
That's just beautiful. The whole world is like, I had enough. Y'all aren't doing anything, so we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So there's pressure from the sea. Think about this. Like there's pressure, peaceful pressure from the sea coming in on the flotilla. There's peaceful pressure coming in at the Egyptian border on the Egyptian side. There's peaceful pressure from inside of Israel, which we'll show you here in a few, saying let in humanitarian aid. Enough of this. Like we're done. Joe. Represent a moral imperative. Yeah. The people of the world have had it. So, what was the next thing we were doing?
It just kind of shows a map of where they're coming in. I'm just going to share this.
Okay. Drop site, that one.
إلى الأراضي الليبية وتواصل طريقها عبر طرابلس، مصراتة، سرت، بنغازي وطبرق، ثم تعبر القافلة معبر السلوم لتدخل مصر. 12 من جوان 2025 الوصول إلى القاهرة. 15 من جوان 2025 الوصول إلى معبر رفح. قافلة الصمود لابد للقيد أن ينكسر. تنطلق القافلة يوم 9 من جوان 2025 من تونس العاصمة، تمر عبر المدن سوسة، صفاقس، جيبس ومدنين. عبر معبر رأس جدير تعبر القافلة إلى الأراضي الليبية وتواصل طريقها عبر طرابلس، مصراتة، سرت، بنغازي وطبرق، ثم تعبر القافلة معبر السلوم لتدخل مصر. 12 من جوان 2025 الوصول إلى القاهرة. 15 من جوان 2025 الوصول إلى معبر رفح. قافلة الصمود لابد للقيد أن ينكسر.
So that's the one group that is moving through Cairo, and So I think our point is just so many things are happening all at the same time, and it is very exciting because, it's been incredibly discouraging to know that our country is on the side of genocide and that they've been succeeding. And so it's nice to see some people from all countries fighting back. It is definitely a positive.
Yeah, because it's dire, you all. And we'll get into that later. Don't want to bring you down, but it's similar to the way, when we have a big protest in DC, people do it, all their little groups from all over the country, and then they all descend on DC in the same time, same day, same time. So it's going to be July 15th. I guess they're starting out. You can fly in or whatever. They're starting out on the 9th, which is a couple of days, and July 15th. So about 8 days from now. Yeah.
And I'm going to share this other one, and this is
okay.
And Palestinians on the border with Gaza. We're just a few hundred meters from Gaza, and we are here to resist the annihilation of Gaza. We're here to resist the killing of children in Gaza. We're here to resist the starvation, and we're here to call to release all hostages in a deal. We are here because we cannot stay silent while this reality is going on. We cannot sit in our home and drink coffee or go to work normally when we kill dozens of people in each of every day. We cannot stay silent while our government is speaking about annihilation. So we decided to get up and do something. For days we're marching to the border of Gaza, and now look at how many people we are here on the border. So many people start doing what is needed to be done. So please join us, support our movement. We are here to call not only to end the horrors and the atrocities, we're here to call for peace. Yes, Israeli-Palestinian peace. This is the only solution that can save our lives, both of the Palestinians and the Israelis. Join us.
So I'm very excited that folks are coming in from all sides. That is really fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
It finally gives me just a little glimmer of hope that what we're doing, what we've been doing, and it's coming to a head. And Israel's falling apart. United States is just trying to clamp down because they know they're kind of losing the argument.
Right.
That's what the clamping down is all about.
Right.
We do have a comment from Brian. All my life, our country has been on the wrong side. Vietnam, Pol Pot, Iraq, Panama, infinitum.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. I mean, the propaganda is out there. That is the reality. We've always been on the wrong side. Always. I mean, it is.
It's because that's how we started.
Decades. Yeah.
We started as a colonial power. We got here and said, I don't see any people. These people don't count, all those native, whatever,
Right.
I was talking to someone at the protest, recently, like if you stop to think of all the people that have been oppressed in the United States, it's pretty amazing and horrific.
Yeah.
It started with Native Americans when we got here, and then other religious groups, and then, the enslavement of African Americans, the Chinese on the railroad, the Japanese in the internment camps,
Right.
Irish and Italians, were discriminated against. Like,
I had heard something recently, I'm interested in like the kind of the birth of all the states throughout the history of the United States. And basically they said what it was when there was enough white people, it became a state. That's basically how it worked. Which, you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense, right? All right.
oh, so I did want to say, I'm asking my friend, Land Palestine was that last video that we showed coming from inside of Israel and Gaza. Is IG poster part of Standing Together movement?
Thank you for giving credits. I've been missing that. Yep.
Yeah, we try. We're not perfect.
And we got a blog that we want to read from.
Yes. Did you want to read it, or do you want me to?
Why don't you go ahead and read it? Yeah.
All right. So this is a Green Party member, Green Party activist, and his activism is writing. You don't always have to go to the street. So this is J. Heron 4 from Joe Harrington, his blog. Freedom Flotillas Then and Now. So he posted this yesterday. Today is June 6, 2025. 81 years ago on this date, 160,000 Allied troops stormed the beaches of northern France. Thousands of ships and aircraft were involved in the operation, known as D-Day. It represents the largest amphibious invasion in the history of warfare. This massive military operation's objective was to push into the interior of the country and begin liberating Western Europe from Nazi occupation. The invasion was ultimately a success and a crucial turning point in World War II. 8 decades later, on this June day, there is another amphibious operation that seeks to push back on another country's siege of a foreign territory, the Gaza Strip. It does not involve thousands of vessels and tens of thousands of troops. It is a single sailboat named Madeleine. It has 12 people on board. Its objective is not to engage in battle with the country that has been relentlessly attacking the civilian population in Gaza for the past 20 months. The Madeleine is not carrying weapons. It seeks to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. Its cargo consists of medical supplies, flour, rice, baby formula, nappies, women's sanitary products, water desalination kits, crutches, and children's prosthetics. The Madeleine will reach its destination on June 9th. So that's coming up in a couple of days. The blockade by Israel, a nuclear power, has threatened the Madeleine. Whether or not any of the humanitarian supplies can be delivered will soon play out. Unlike D-Day, this is a well-publicized amphibious strategy, and the whole world is likely aware of the situation. This flotilla of a single ship ought not to be putting its crew's life in harm's way. Sadly, what is happening in Gaza has been clearly documented as a genocide, and international courts have labeled it as such. Why it has not been stopped by other countries, especially the United States, is a sickening indictment upon their duplicity in the bombing of hospitals, schools, shelters, and refuge areas.
You know, what I love about this, and thank you, Joe, for this, is that he does make the similarity because, okay, no, there's not thousands of ships, but there are thousands and millions of people watching this. And so that has its own force. People, like the 68 protest, the whole world's watching. So I think that, it's a great analogy, Mr. Harrington, because I love the idea that no, it's not the bombs, but we got a million people. We have a million people who are invading as we watch.
It's got just a little more. It's not very much longer. D-Day and the Allied defeat of fascism made for a saner, safer world. 81 years later, the massive casualties incurred that day are remembered for such sacrifice. History now clearly is repeating itself, with authoritarian governments acting out their nefarious agendas that victimize people unjustly, cruelly. It is the same evil that was crushed by the end of World War II. It took unimaginable courage on the part of those Allied troops as they hit the beaches of Normandy, with Nazi firepower awaiting them. The 12 people aboard the Madeleine have a similar courageous sense of purpose as they approach their target on what they refer to as the Freedom Flotilla. We will soon find out what awaits them. One way or another, it will be a barometer of a different kind of global encounter of good versus evil. The human race seems intent on self-destruction when viewed through a historical lens. Current events, such as Madeleine's choice to say enough already, prove at least a modicum of faith in humanity. For those with their eyes wide open, it is inspirational. One way or another, it will be a wake-up call as another chapter of history unfolds. Bravo, Mr. Joe.
Yeah. I know it just feels like the whole world's watching, and that's exciting in itself because maybe and who knows? I mean, the Zionists, the IDF, I mean, they will kill these folks. That's without a doubt. They will.
They may.
I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. Well, I mean,
they are capable.
They certainly, based on what they have done in the past, it is certainly a strong possibility that they will do it. But we'll see. We're very hopeful here at Green Livestream.
Yeah. So I'm encouraged. I'm also feel fearful for them, but I'm trying to just send out love to them.
There you go.
Keep them afloat. Let's keep them afloat.
Yep.
Yeah. And we keep them afloat by literally by sharing it and having more people watch, because the more people that watch anything that happens, the more outraged people will be. And that puts pressure on the governments to do the right thing. This is what it's about.
Yes.
So anyway, good job, Joe. He's an excellent writer, and his blog is Harrin, JHARRIN 4.com. I should have done a graphic, but I forgot to. So why is this so important? What is the situation? You know, you hear on the news, I just watched something today where Andrea Mitchell was questioning some lackey in DC. I don't know. Well, we sent 7 million meals for a week, right?
Yeah.
That's not even a meal a day.
Yeah.
And what's happening when people starve, the strong can get meals and the weak cannot.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the point that they pushed them to throughout all this for 20 months. They've been trying their best to stick together. Now they're starving to death.
Yeah.
And it is illegal, and it is a complete siege. It's a war crime.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this next story is, you know, the empire faking trying to help. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you want to read this one?
Yeah. On Sunday morning at dawn, Palestinians from southern Gaza headed to the aid distribution point in Rafah, run by the Gaza Humanitarian Fund, and that's the organization that Gray Zone covered, is run by Zionists. The U.S. contractor tasked with delivering aid to Palestinians instead of the UN. Once thousands of aid seekers arrived at the Alam area of Rafah's Tal al-Sultan neighborhood, the Israeli army opened fire on the crowds, according to eyewitnesses who spoke to Mondoweiss. And this is from Mondoweiss, Tarek S. Hajjaj. It's appeared on SheerPost, but yeah, it's from Mondoweiss. All throngs of people waited outside the aid site in the early morning hours, waiting for the instructions of the American employees. Eyewitnesses described an Israeli quadcopter drone hovering overhead and ordering them via loudspeaker to enter the fence delivery site at 6 a.m. After hundreds of people had entered, soldiers opened fire on the crowd. I mean, this is, God, killing 75 people at the Rafah aid site and wounding a total of 400 others across aid distribution sites. Gaza's Ministry of Health said in an updated statement on Monday. I mean, this is just horrific. I can't. But yeah, that's what they're doing. And it's still obviously happening each day, each and every day this is going on. So
yeah, it's a tactic to destroy the people that are still strong enough to come get food.
Yep.
You know, it's bait.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, on top of all the horrors, that to me is like beyond everything. Like, we know you're starving, haha.
Yep.
And then let's, you know, draw you out and kill you. Like, you know, these people have lost their humanity. I know there was I remember seeing this footage where, you know, people that didn't quite understand Americans, which I get it, we're kind of crazy sometimes, but there was a soldier like sending the heart signal when they were delivering aid, you know, like doing this, and then like, this is the hang loose. They thought they were being insulted. No, that's us showing love. Now, I don't know the whole history, but it's like, that wasn't quite what you thought. Yeah. Well, here's a comment. Joe Harrington is in our chat.
Oh, hey, Joe Harrington. All right.
I was there for The Whole World is Watching 1968 Democrat Convention in Chicago. Still waiting for positive change.
Right. I only know it from the band Chicago putting it in their song. That's how I know it. Yep.
Yeah. And Kalia's here. What's up, Kalia? Hey, Thom. Yeah. Brian, the TMZ story is copiously documented and involved many lawsuits, but the commission would not deal with it. I'm not sure.
I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's.
Oh, he's talking about this. I'm sorry. I missed this comment.
Oh.
Fifth plane used on 9/11.
Oh, okay. Well, I always love this.
I don't know.
The seventh tower story. That one I do find very interesting, but off topic.
Well, it is and it isn't.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I get the connection. We're focusing on what's now, but yeah, I mean,
right.
You know, they knew something was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And I connect that to that. I know that Bibi Netanyahu knew they were going to get attacked on October 7th.
Yeah.
So when these things are not handled behind the scenes and stopped,
Right.
They were just allowed to sacrifice the lives of civilians.
Well, and the CIA held information from the FBI. That's been proven. So
Well, but George W. Bush had many communiques when Clinton left. Hey, we think this is going to happen. Here's the evidence, and he did nothing about it.
Yep.
Israel knew something was going to happen. They allowed it, and they allow it to enable them to do things.
Right.
They sacrificed their own people. I think we allowed the sacrifice of people on 9/11.
Yeah.
So they could do the Patriot Act, and now we'll get into that a little bit later. But now it's even worse.
Right.
Yeah, Dan Rather. Yep. So a little aside, but very valid. Dan Rather beaten up twice on the protest. Oh, once on the protest, and another time, and final when he exposed Bush Jr. falsified flight record.
Ah, okay.
Dan Rather was good, dude. Like,
I don't
he was
remember that.
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, they just silence people. They silence the press. They're still doing it. Anyway. Okay. It's a lot today.
Yeah.
I'm a little emotional today, but
keep it moving here.
Let's keep it moving. I need to take a breath. Everybody breathe.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so
Stuck in this.
So this is from, is it the statistics that make me sick?
Yep.
So this was posted by Jennifer Sullivan. She is Green Party National. She's Florida, I believe, and she's part of the National Women's Caucus, which leads us to our next story. But statistics that make me sick. I'll read a little bit. We hear over and over that Hamas entered Israel. So it's kind of good lead in, right? Entered Israel on one day, October 7th, 2023. And by the way, they have never been back save that one day. Mostly because they were walled in and can't get out, which poses the question of how did they get out in the first place? What with all the IOF surveillance, etc. Right. Israel has been continuously entering Gaza for now 20 months with troops, tanks, bulldozers, drones, fighter jets, except during a very brief ceasefire. That was for the empire to regroup. So let's compare. Israel has killed, this is a vast undercount, 50,000 people. It's more like 500,000.
Yeah, it's much larger.
Mostly women and children, with many more under the rubble. Hamas killed 815 civilians and 36 children under 18. None were in ovens and none were beheaded.
And I'm going to even challenge that one. If she's referring to October 7th, they have already proven that over half the people on October 7th were killed by Israel. I mean, the largest being their helicopters, Apache helicopters at that rave thing where they were slaughtering Israelis along with the Palestinians who were trying to take hostages. So, and I thought the number was about 1,000, 1,100, so half of that. So I would question this number here, but okay.
Yeah, well, that's the official narrative, and I know you always got to question it.
Well,
however,
it's been proven.
However, the Hannibal Directive has been proven. That's like, sacrifice your own to defeat the enemy. So Israeli soldiers killed their own people too.
Yeah, well, they do, without a doubt.
So I'm thinking it's less than half of that.
I mean, just the entire concept. How could Israel care about the hostages when they're bombing the whole place the entire time? Obviously, they don't care. When they're starving the place, okay, the hostages are starving too. I mean, it's so obvious. People don't think through this stuff through. Israel does not care about the hostages. They never have.
Okay. Well, we'll move on a little bit past those numbers because they are in dispute.
Yeah.
Why? They won't let in people to find out. Yeah. Buildings damaged or destroyed by Israel in Gaza. 92% of them. By Hamas, 0.
Right.
Schools. Israel has damaged 241 and completely destroyed 111 in Gaza. Hamas has damaged or destroyed 0 in Israel. Hospitals. Israel has bombed 36, all of them, in Gaza. Hamas has bombed 0 in Israel. Healthcare workers killed, 224 by her, research. in Gaza, 0 by Hamas and Israel. Journalists killed, 183 by Israel and Gaza. They have the all-time record now.
Yeah.
0 by Hamas and Israel. Tortured prisoners. Israel sends out freed and emaciated, and there is video footage that supports the multiple claims of the released. Hamas sends out remarkably healthy ones, especially considering the current conditions in Gaza. They're being starved, and yet the hostages that get released look well, and they report that they were treated with respect and well cared for.
Right.
I think they even had birthday parties and stuff.
I mean, I think that's the biggest point, is that obviously Hamas was working their best to try to keep these folks alive and in the horrific conditions. So no, I mean, and that's the thing, you know, every single press place calls this a war. This is not a war. Look at those statistics. That's not a war. That is not a war.
Nope.
No,
it's an annihilation attempt.
Yeah, one side doesn't have an army. So
no.
Yeah. I mean,
they have a few people trying to fight back. And if you are being occupied on your land, you are legally allowed to fight back. So October 7th was legal according to international law. It was not a separate country attacking another country. Israel controls everything in Gaza. Everything.
Yeah.
So that's not a war.
We should probably move on to the next subject. Can we jump ahead to the Sabby video? Because although I don't have it set up yet, but
no, that's okay. Well, let's make sure that's where we're going. Let me look.
Let's.
Oh no, it was the moral decay of feminism.
Yeah, but it's 12 minutes to 1, so I think we should probably.
Okay, well, I put another thing from Savage Minds talking about from Heather Brunskell-Evans, how the feminist movement is not standing up for the women in Palestine. So you can read it if you'd like. Yeah. So that's that, and Trump hates America. This is the next segment.
Yes.
We might go a little over if that's all right with you, Scott.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. I just wanted to get moving. This is a Sabby video because we love Sabby.
We love Sabby. We love you, Sabby.
And gentlemen, if you are concerned about data, if you are concerned about privacy, this story is going to be especially important for you. And if you live in the United States, because even if you're not concerned about your data and your privacy or whatever, you will be impacted in some way, shape, or form because of the new announcement from Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and get into this here. Donald Trump taps Palantir to compile data on Americans. The gentleman that you see here, Alex Karp, he is the co-founder and the CEO of Palantir. And I'm going to explain how all of this is connected. So everybody get ready for this. In March, Trump signed an executive order calling for the federal government to share data across agencies, raising questions over whether he might compile a master list of personal information on Americans that could give him untold surveillance power. Trump has not publicly talked about the effort since, but behind the scenes, officials have quietly put technological building blocks into place to enable his plan. In particular, they have turned to one company, Palantir, the data analysis and technology firm. So this is not good. This is a big one. And we're talking about your data, whether it's your student loan information, whether it's your social media. A lot of times we say data, people just think we're talking about social media accounts. Yeah, social media accounts, but also your financial information, your student loan information, right? Social security numbers, like anything that can be seen as data. And basically what is happening is that the United States is turning into a surveillance state. Now, Edward Snowden warned all of us about this many years ago, and that happened under President Barack Obama. So now what you're seeing is that both parties approve of an enhanced surveillance state. I also want to point out, it's important to know, don't forget that Palantir also donated to Kamala Harris's campaign. So both of these candidates for 2024 were headed down this path. Let's go on a little bit more here. The Trump administration has expanded Palantir's work across the federal government in recent months. The company has received more than $113 million in federal government spending since Mr. Trump took office. That's according to public records, including additional funds from existing contracts, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. So Palantir has contracts with DHS and also the Pentagon. Again, everyone should have a problem with this. Everyone. I don't care who you supported in 2024. Everyone should be against this. This is not going to be a positive for the American people, especially if you value your privacy. And how will Palantir try to take this information and use it? Will it be used against us? Will it be, helpful towards other entities like Israel, for example? What is this all about? Representatives of Palantir are also speaking to at least two other agencies, the Social Security Administration and the IRS, and buying its technology according to 6 government officials and Palantir employees with knowledge of the discussions. So here we go again. Here's evidence that shows that they're also talking to the Social Security Administration. They're also talking to the IRS. So like I said, not just your social media, but your financial information as well. Why would they need this information? What exactly are they planning? Anna said, say no to 23andMe. That's
Yep.
Yeah. So actually, Palantir had a conference just this past week, and Code Pink was there protesting them. So good.
Love Medea Benjamin.
Yeah, good for Code Pink. No, it's a really scary situation. If you think back to the mandates for vaccines in Canada, and what they had done is the truckers who were refusing, and they grabbed their bank accounts, and so and blocked their bank accounts. So that's what that's also about. You think about how the ICE raids, we're going to talk some about that. The targeting of people and the way they identify people and for specific purposes, right?
And they're combining it all.
Right.
So, your social media is now going to be connected to your bank account, connected to your Social Security account, connected to your IRS. Like they're connecting the money with your activism. So it's the clampdown.
Right. So they will punish you in financial ways. Right. Oh God, of course it's both parties.
So that's why vote the damn Green Party. Okay.
I mean,
just saying, if you want this to change, we got to stop doing it the same. We are here. We are fighting like hell, and we need you to join us. Enough of this sitting on the sidelines. We have to do this. Okay. We have the structure. Jill had 400 electors. And what does that mean? It only takes 270 to win.
Right.
If we would stop believing, like staying in their bubble of propaganda. Like Joe's saying here, this is what got me. Biden's support of Israel turned off enough voters to give us Trump. Bad to go grotesquely worse, the duopoly. Yes. Because people are too scared to take a chance on something, but it's too late, y'all. We got to do it now.
We have to.
Go green. Absolutely.
Yay. And remember, the Democrats are the genocide party. They started it. They started the funding on October 8th. They are the genocide party. Trump is continuing it.
Yeah. So don't fall for these, young, fresh-faced Democrats. They're going to change the system. It's not going to change.
No.
It's not. We've seen this playbook 1,000 times in the past 10 years and even before then.
What I can't understand is why people, local Democrats understand that the company they work for commits a genocide. I mean, would you work for a company that committed a genocide? They are. They look real nice. They got nice things to say. They say they're doing good work. They are in the genocide party. Do not affiliate with them.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you come in, with a full heart, you fully intend to change it from the inside. They will they're going to use you. They're going to use you for primary to get votes for the person that you are inevitably going to have to support that will beat you.
Right.
And if you're allowed to win, you will have to get rid of that and step all over your values, and you won't be able to fight for anything. So that's how the Democratic Party works, because the leadership controls everything. You either sacrifice what you came there to do and you get to stay. You can sit at the table, but you can't open your mouth.
Yep.
Or if you open your mouth, you're booted out.
AOC and Bernie sold out years ago. Years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Nope. Don't think they're progressive.
Nope. I mean, all you have to do, I think we showed it a while back. Watch that video of these two young women seeing Bernie coming up the street going to a rally. You know, he's all smiles. Oh, hey, I get to have my little moment with some people. What's your statement on Mahmoud Khalil? And then he just turned into asshole.
Right. And he still says Israel has the right to defend itself.
That's wrong. They don't.
No, they don't. They are an occupied force.
Yeah.
They have occupied that land. They have no right to be there.
No. So we can move on to, so I used to live in San Diego, so I got a little special place in my heart for this. They're giving ICE some shit, so I think it's great.
Unfortunately, I'm not ready for.
Oh, okay. So I wonder what neighborhood it is. Like, you know, when you live there, you're just like, I wonder where this was exactly. And vote for Butch Ware if you're in California.
Discuss what's going on, because it's going to.
Oh, San Diego neighborhood from forces ICE out. Yeah, I mean, they're snatching people off the street with no identification, masked, armed. You can't tell, unmarked vans, no due process. You know, like, come on, y'all. There we go. Way to go, San Diego.
Shame! 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 Back up! Yeah, back up! Back up! Shame! 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 Shame!
I love that. I love that. I mean,
regular people,
power of the people, right? And you know, I mean, the thing is, as we've talked before, you know, our police departments have gone to Israel for training back and forth. They are absolutely militarized. The ICE isn't quite. They're not quite there. So actually, they are still at the point, and may change soon, where they take some public pressure and they do go back. And so it's, you know, people are absolutely fighting back against these Nazi ICE raids. They really are.
Well, yeah, and I was speaking with my friend Yvonne that's watching. Hey, Yvonne, this morning. I'm like, you know, we got to tap back into that American thing. There's like, oh no, you didn't. You know, like, here's the line. You're not crossing it. I said no. We got to find that fire within us. I found mine. Yeah. Scott's found his.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And the next one, is this the LA one, I think?
Yeah, this is an MSNBC clip.
And we're not fans of MSNBC, but if they cover something good, we're going to put it on there.
Yeah.
It's on Instagram, so it feels a little better. Russia, Russia, Russia.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
So, there we go.
At the same time here, I want to show you this one that's coming from the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is the jail that is run by the federal government, the county and the federal government in downtown LA. It's converging with this protest that's coming over here. Scott Killian, why don't you walk with me? Chris, what happened here today in Los Angeles, I think, is the worst nightmare for so many people who live here. You know, Los Angeles is a largely so-called minority-majority city. There are just as many people of color here as there are white people. And in fact, 10% of the population of Los Angeles County, come with me, which is one of the largest counties, the largest by population in the United States, is undocumented. There could be as many as 1 million undocumented people who live here in Los Angeles. And what you saw today, and what all of these people are protesting,
is large-scale immigration enforcement raids. What you're looking at on the left-hand side of your screen is this protest from the sky. The helicopters are directly above me. You saw, I'm sorry for the noise, but you saw tactical officers on things like Bearcat vehicles, flashbang grenades on the city streets of Los Angeles, which largely felt like, as some people described in local media, that the military was on the streets of Los Angeles. Historically, the Los Angeles Police Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department does not cooperate with immigration enforcement efforts. But when you have got ICE in Los Angeles showing up reportedly at Home Depot, where many undocumented people go to get work as day laborers, you know the National Day Laborer Organizing Network well. Many of those people responded in the wake of the fires here in Los Angeles. When you've got ICE showing up outside of places like schools, it quite literally is striking fear into the heart of people all throughout this community. And it is, I think it's fair to say, the worst fear of so many people here who live in Los Angeles and who have heard President Trump threaten that they would do this. But when this day comes on a Friday morning that stretches into a Friday afternoon, people in Los Angeles are mobilizing and they are very upset. So this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, when they're going to at the Home Depot for day laborers, I mean, again, it's like, and, you know, we've seen the stories of them picking up children out of school. A 12-year-old, I saw that this week. I mean, it's just horrific. And I saw a tweet that they detained the president of SEIU California Union for peaceably observing. And this is from SEIU California. It says, ICE picked the wrong side, the wrong state, the wrong person, the wrong union. David Huerta stood up and 750,000 SEIU workers are standing with him. So, yeah, unions are getting involved because they arrest the union leaders.
Oh, no, you didn't. I think you all crossed the line.
Yeah.
That was the last line. There, that's it. And, you know, I didn't realize that. That does make sense. Maybe 1 million people in LA are undocumented. And I know that makes a lot of people crazy, but our system is broken to come here legally. It's broken.
Right.
And we drive people to our borders by ruining, like jumping in and ruining their country and making it unlivable. So what choice do they have? They have to leave. It's leave or die.
Right.
You know?
I mean, all the sanctions that we put on all of these countries, I mean, it is, you know, it would be nice to see the global situation if we got rid of all these disgusting sanctions, because these sanctions they are there to hit countries who we don't happen to like their leaders, because their leaders want to keep their natural resources to the country. That's what we do it for. That's our reason.
And a lot of these countries have stuff that we don't have. And so there is an underlying current of you have to hate them because if you know too much about them, you're going to demand it here. Like, I don't know, universal health care,
right.
Good schools,
right.
Healthy food, you know.
Right. No, I
minor
mean,
things.
Every other country has government health care. I mean, it's just horrific.
Yeah, Cuba does.
Yep. They have the best.
Canada does. Mexico does.
Famous for their doctors, Cuba.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the hell? Come on, people. Ah, man. So speaking of healthcare, yeah, didn't even know I was leading up to the next one. So Joni Ernst, the GOP senator, defends the Medicaid cuts. Somebody at her, she was giving a speech about it, or she was talking smack somewhere, you know. Somebody said, well, people are going to die. And her answer was, we're all going to die. You know?
Yeah.
Really? I'm pretty sure that your healthcare is not mine. And you are supposed to be a servant of the people and you have something I don't. That doesn't make sense.
When you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible. So they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die. So for heaven's sakes.
Yeah,
For
it was.
heaven's sake.
Well, and again, it's this classic Republican strategy to complain about some people, and so what? She's got this numbers she can throw out. Yeah, in what percentage of all of those who gets helped by Medicaid is it really that big a deal? Probably not. I mean, she doesn't do it in percentages, right? And again, it's this idea they find this thing to complain about. Oh, some people might not be using it correctly, so let's destroy the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the same old Republican crap.
Yeah. And if we had a universal healthcare system, it would cost, what was the, Butch Ware had a great thing on there. And by the way, because of California, I put bitchwareforgov.com.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Go support Butch. A win for California will be a win for all of us. But,
Absolutely.
you know, if you look at, he did this thing about the graph, like, okay, healthcare, just the actual cost of doing, like getting a procedure or something is this much. Okay. So then you tack on insurance. Okay. So in order to get it back down here, you either got to pay more or you got to cut the quality. There is no two ways about it. A universal healthcare system cuts out the profit motive. So you're going to get better care for less money. It's just, it's simple math,
It's so
y'all.
simple. I mean, health insurance is the only, business that actually does not need to exist. It serves no purpose. It's a middleman that's just pulling money out. That's all it's doing. We don't need health insurance.
No.
We can have health care. And it's, and I'm happy to see that, I guess, United is crashing. Supposedly their stocks and everything are crashing. But they all got to crash. They're all got to crash. And again, I've always said, I personally, in terms of the path in, I like public option as the path in. Some people disagree with that. What I like about it is that I always felt like the argument of make health insurance illegal, in a way that's not going to help our side, because people want choices, right? They want choice. So they want health insurance. If you're super rich, go for your health insurance. Great. Get Cadillac service, go for it. But when they have a public option, and it's a good public option, we all leave. Your prices will go insanely high. So just love your private health insurance.
Yeah, make health insurance unreasonable.
I mean, it's a business.
Already unaffordable.
They got to pay their shareholders. So your monthly premiums will be about $10,000 a month once we all go to public option. So that's one.
And I think it needs to be disconnected from your job, because that started during the Depression to get people to stay where they were. Because if you could go make a few cents more across the street, you'd go, oh my gosh, did we get 500 subs?
Oh, really? Oh, we don't have balloons. I wanted balloons here. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yay. That's been our goal for a couple of weeks.
Okay. I wish I had some like Sabby does that. Thank you.
I
Thank
play
you.
trumpet,
Thank you.
by the way. So I could have brought up my trumpet.
Yeah. So Sabby, speaking of Sabby again, which I watch her as much as I can, as much as I have time. They had a healthcare panel on there. Her last live she did. It's fantastic. JB is going to be on our show. I don't know
Wednesday,
when.
yeah.
Sometime this month.
No, Wednesday.
Oh, when it's coming up this Wednesday?
Yeah,
So JB Fauntleroy, or JB from
Revolutionary Blackout
Network. He was talking about his dealing with dialysis and kidney transplant and the way the system is like. Yeah, it was incredible. I can't wait to hear what I want him to talk about that when he comes. I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Hopefully he want to. We always let our guests decide the topics. We don't want to force people to talk about stuff they're not comfortable with at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we're not authoritarian.
I'm so
here.
excited to have JB here. Woo!
Yeah, we want to welcome people.
Yeah,
just like this behind me.
We
welcome people. You're allowed to come in and work on what you want.
Yeah,
just got to be respectful of others. That's all. Pretty simple, So, I guess we're ready to move on.
Okay. I think our last subject.
Yeah. So this really hurt my heart. And Brian was commenting on this earlier. Yorke is a bummer. So Thom Yorke, Radiohead. I don't know if anybody is a fan.
I'm a huge fan of their music. I mean,
yeah, I posted this. It just makes me sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, again, I think that the comparison to Greta is what is most needed here. I mean, Roger does great work, absolutely. But it is, what I find really sad is really, really, really successful musicians. They have freedom. They can do whatever they want. They don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming for the rest of their lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet still they can't see the importance of humanity. I mean, it's so this is from Decensored News. Famed English rock band Radiohead is no stranger to controversy, at least around one subject, Israel. In 2017, it notoriously rejected calls from Palestinian-led boycott, divest, and sanctions movement to cancel their planned gig in Tel Aviv. Last year, the band's guitarist, Johnny Greenwood, who is married to an Israeli, played a show in Tel Aviv with Israeli musician Dudu Tassa a day after reportedly attending protests calling for the release of hostages in Gaza. Last Sunday night, while Israeli forces bombed displaced Palestinians sheltering in tents in Rafah, Gaza, burning men, women, and children and babies alive, a short drive away, Radiohead's Johnny Greenwood performed a concert in apartheid Tel Aviv, said the BDS movement in a statement. So, actually, I think Caitlin covered the actual tweet that he finally responded to. That's Thom Yorke, the lead singer of Radiohead, for folks who don't know. And I'll get that up in a second. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. I hit something else.
That's right.
Yeah, if you could.
I'm answering Chaz here. I'm not going to put it up. It's not worth it.
Okay. Yeah, let me share the screen here. And this is Caitlin Johnson's response. I can read a little of what he actually said.
It makes me sad. I used to paint to Radiohead. Like, I just put on my headphones and just, it was my go-to.
No, their last 5-6 albums I absolutely have adored. And I have
a 4-hour playlist. That's usually how long I painted, about 4 hours.
I'm just gonna read.
Yeah, I don't know if you can make that any. Yeah, read it because it's kind of hard to see. I don't know.
I can't make it any larger.
But if you're not following Caitlin Johnstone, people. Sabby, Caitlin, Bad Faith podcast with Bree.
The full Thom Yorke statement after 20 months of genocide is pretty much what you'd expect. Shit lib, both siding, victim LARPing, blaming Netanyahu for Gaza while whining and denouncing the unquestioning Free Palestine refrain that surrounds us all for being too nice to Hamas. And, it is a dangerous, this is Thom Yorke, it is a dangerous illusion to believe reposting or 1 or 2 line messages are meaningful, especially if it is to condemn your fellow human beings. There are unintended consequences. And again, this is a person who has massive, massive power and massive, he is a celebrity. What is the alternative? I can't answer that easily. I do know in communities around the globe, this subject is now dangerously toxic, and we are in uncharted waters. We need to turn back. Really, Thom. Do you think if we turn back that they will stop the genocide? It's just pathetic. And the twisted logic that goes on with people around this issue. And I think they have to have this twisted logic because it's so damn obvious. How on earth are you okay with slaughtering children? How is that ever okay? And that's the thing. That's how they try to manipulate this stuff. because they know they're wrong. They know it. I mean, they're not stupid. They're not stupid. Not stupid.
Yeah. So I'm not going to post what's going on in the chat, but people can read. You know, it's this thing like we can't do this huge thing that would help everyone because this one tiny group might do a thing that I don't agree with.
Right.
So screw everybody.
Right.
You know,
it's trying to find any excuse they can find. Any excuse. Again, discuss that with the children in Palestine. Let's have a discussion with them.
Yeah.
Let's
well, talking about healthcare.
Oh, I thought you were.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. And everything else.
Well,
like it's the red herring bullshit.
Right? Well, and the insane thing is go to any other country. I mean, go to any other country, just walk in, you get free healthcare. And suddenly it's not such an argument anymore. And those countries aren't doing fantastic financially. I mean, the US is doing just as well as France. I mean, probably a little better. France is struggling. Germany's struggling, right? These European countries are struggling. They got free healthcare. You walk into a place and you get free healthcare. What the fuck? I mean, it's just so obvious. All the arguments just dissipate.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're compassionate. They don't like, you know, check your politics or your whatever. They just help you. You know, we are the richest country that has ever existed. And yet our people are dying. So something's definitely wrong. Right. Chaz is telling, ignore me, Edie. I don't know if he's asking or telling me to. Or saying that I am. I'm not ignoring you.
Being sarcastic.
He said the rich may be a small group, but it is a powerful group. I know that ain't what you meant, but the point stands. They're only as powerful as we allow them to be. No. They can't do it without us. They use our labor. They convince us to hand over our paychecks. Without us, they have nothing. They would crumble in a week.
Strength in numbers. I mean, strength in numbers.
We are more powerful. We just believe that we're not.
Revolutions have happened all over this globe. Numerous times.
Yeah. So
just because we didn't learn about it in our history books, and there's a reason why we didn't.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to know how possible all of it is.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yeah, and I love. Oh, okay. I'll. Chaz saying I ain't against free healthcare. I'm against it being the or any topic where folks are poor. Free healthcare will only benefit those with money who buy health insurance now. I was telling you to ignore me.
I'm a little confused.
Well, then don't post. Yeah, we read comments here. I don't know what to say. If you got something to say and you post it during the live, there's a chance we're going to talk about it.
And again, he went to health insurance. No, the point is no
care.
Insurance. No care, health care, not health insurance. That's the point.
Yeah.
The VA, it already exists in America. The VA properly funded it for years and years. That was the most liked health system in our country for decades. The veterans loved the VA. Now they're trying to destroy it. So service is bad now because that's what they're doing on purpose, trying to destroy it. But we had health care.
You walk in, it's free at the point of service.
Right.
It's paid through just like your taxes.
Right.
You know, those that can afford more pay more, and those that can't afford it pay less. The original idea, Yvonne, the original idea of Medicare, which has been slashed and cut. I mean, ever since the New Deal was passed, we talked about this last week. They have been after it.
Yeah.
They have been like picking it apart piece by piece by piece. So, you know, I talked to my aunt and she's like, well, my Medicare is not free. And I'm like, yeah, and that's wrong. You paid for it already. You shouldn't be paying for it still.
Right.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
No. And, you know, we do actually pay for free healthcare.
And poor do not get healthcare already. No, they don't. They are cutting Medicaid. This is what it is. It is like these piles, you know, one system means everybody would be covered.
And if you notice, we make sure that there is a healthcare system that gets funded and so that people can get free healthcare. It's in Israel.
Yeah.
We fund it.
Universal health care is so folks already buying insurance will not have to. Yes, exactly. If they can afford it, they are rich. Now you got it. and I'm not going to ignore you if you're going to.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think we were
I
maybe
got it. We were on
It's
different
because the way you
paths.
started your comments.
Well,
that
you
kind
know,
of got me hot.
honestly, the other hard thing about doing this is we're trying to have discussions and then we don't catch all the posts. So sometimes if it's your third or fourth post, we miss the original one. So
Well, the original one is what got me going.
Oh.
Hoover took out 1 million people in giant sweep of Mexican communities. Many were citizens.
Right.
Citizens.
Yep.
They belong here. Bush Clinton took out 3 million people. Nothing to see here.
Obama was the chief, what did they call him? The chief deporter in chief.
Deporter in chief.
Yeah, no, massive numbers. I think Clinton had the most numbers actually. But yeah, the thing is, what's so frightening is, I mean, the Democrats, you know, they use the more bureaucratic system, whereas, you know, Trump loves a show. So he's got ICE out in the streets grabbing people out of schools and shit. So, I mean, Trump loves the show, and MAGA folks love this show too, by the way. They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
They're being
It's
fooled, y'all.
disgusting. Well, you know.
This point, I love our Chaz. We still love you. We can disagree. It's fine. Brian, we launder money out of our tax base to give to countries for free health care. For example, Israel, Taiwan, and Ukraine.
Ukraine. Oh my God. Oh my God. No kidding. Ukraine. I mean, we that country runs on our money, people. Completely runs on our money. And why are we so willing to do it? Because that was the mechanism to go in and fight Russia. That's what that was about.
And, you know, Russia helped us. They sacrificed the most during World War II.
Yep.
They sacrificed the most people.
Yep. Absolutely.
They were on our side during World War II.
And so many
that's
people
when
don't
the
know
Red
that.
Scare bullshit started. That's when the under God crap started.
No, so many people don't know that. And it's because the U.S. government was afraid that Soviet was now becoming the #1 country.
Can't we all just get along?
I know. Oh my God! Don't take me back to that scene.
To the 90s. What was that guy's name that got beat up in LA?
Yeah.
Rodney King?
Rodney King. Thank you. And the thing that really got me about that, I mean, I watched that video and it seemed like inherently obvious, and then there were still some people on the side of the police. It's like, okay, I mean that was the first time like something big had been captured on video. That was why it was such of the, you know, the huge event that it was. And it's just like, okay, we got video, we're done. No. People still side with the police as they're kicking him in the head. They still side with the police.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hang on. That was when Russia was communist, right? Wish that Russia was back.
You know, no, I mean it's true that like the thing is, you know, when the dissolving of the Soviet Union, I mean, that was the time when the oligarchs from America went in and scrapped that place. I mean, they grabbed everything they could, and then now they've slowly been coming back of controlling, you know, their own resources. Like it's the Russia Oil Company. I hate to talk positively about oil, but you know, it is that is true. That's when they did the tried to strip that place, and that's what they want to do again. That's why they're after Russia. They want to strip
that's what Gaza's about too, y'all.
Yeah.
Different people for different reasons, but that is also one of the reasons. There's a lot of oil reserves there.
Right.
You know, so let's just burn up the planet. Let's just strip everything, you know. I don't know. Do we want to play some of Macklemore? So here's an example of somebody.
We can end with it. Sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, then I'll put up this right here. So
oh, okay.
I can't remember where I got this. Here, let me move the little banner, the little flower so y'all can see it. Here's something. You can take a screenshot right now. Here's something that you can use if ICE or somebody comes to your door, right? I do not wish to speak with you, answer your questions, or sign or hand any documents based on my Fifth Amendment rights under the United States Constitution. I do not give you permission to enter my home based on my Fourth Amendment rights under the United States Constitution unless you have a warrant to enter signed by a judge or magistrate with my name on it that you slide under the door. I do not give you permission to search any of my belongings based on my Fourth Amendment rights. I choose to exercise my constitutional rights. These cards are available to citizens and non-citizens alike.
Yeah. Screenshot that.
Yes, please. I'll leave it up for a minute if anybody wants to grab it. I think we should put this on our website.
Excellent.
That'd be a good idea. I can't remember where I got it, but I keep it with me. You never know.
Idea.
Okay, and I think that's pretty much what we had, except for we want you to like, subscribe, and share, and we're so happy for getting to 500. Woohoo! Also, let's see. So, if you can afford it, I'll put the QR back up. Go to ilgp.org/donate. I'm challenging all 71 of you to donate $26 if you can, or to the Green Party of your choice if you don't live here.
And the folks on Facebook
totally
and Twitter, and Facebook and Twitter also.
Yeah. So this is the one for Illinois, but you can look it up. All you got to do is do a quick search if you're from out of state. $26 for 2026. You can donate to Butch Ware's campaign, or Andy Ellis, or Pete Karras.
Yeah,
or
Wisconsin.
National Green Party, or
Andy Ellis is in Maryland, running for governor. Pete Karras is running for Secretary of State in Wisconsin. Butch Ware is running for governor in California.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're trying to support everybody. Because that's what's important. The Green Party needs to be way, way, way bigger and more in people's faces than we are right now. And so each state needs to promote the other states too. I mean, it's really important that we do this.
And in order to do,
no, I just said we need visibility. Yep.
Yeah, and in order for us to fight the things that we show you every week, right? We need strength in numbers. We need money, unfortunately, because that's the way the system is. We're never going to outspend them, but we need enough to compete. And you can become a member for, low income is $12 a year for Illinois Green Party. And I'm pretty sure most Green parties around the country have a similar thing. Full membership is just $60 a year. Come on, y'all. And volunteer. There's places to volunteer on our website.
Yeah, we do Edie and I do a weekly hangout, Thursday night Zoom. And just if you want to come and check us out and just see what we're doing or just ask questions or whatever, it's Thursday night Zoom, 8 p.m. Central Time. And you can find that on our website under the events tab. So ilgp.org/events.
There it is. I found it.
Okay. Well, if you want to put it up, if you can, but otherwise, just ilgp.org/events.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to end with this Macklemore video part of it. And
we will see you all on Wednesday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, JB from Revolutionary.
We're so excited.
From Revolutionary Blackout Network. So, so let me get this going here. And just thanks everybody for stopping in.
Thank you so much.
And watch a lot of this. It's really inspirational.
In October of 2023, my life was going through an upheaval. The future of my marriage and the state of my life was in flux. I was living in pain, fear, and that ache in my heart that you cannot escape, the one that comes in waves, grieving a reality that I had previously taken for granted as always being there. Stable, safe, predictable, that had vanished. And I was on the road at the time, touring in the States when October 7th happened. In previous eras of my life, maybe I could have ignored it. Maybe I could have scrolled past the days, months, and almost a year and a half of what was to come. But with my heart already being in a place of raw and vulnerable state that it was in, and the genocide that was underway in Gaza, it was impossible to ignore. I couldn't get on stage and pretend I was okay. I was not okay. I started learning about the history of the occupation, the political ideology of Zionism, Israeli settlers of the West Bank. I was watching videos coming out of Gaza and crying with friends. I started learning about how colonization, capitalism, and white supremacy need each other to exist and how they were at the root of the Nakba 76 years ago that never ended for the people of Palestine. I was taking it all in, and I was silent.
Hey, it's John. And
Oh,
before you
sorry.
skip this ad, did you
Oh my
see
God.
that a self-proclaimed MAGA...
Sorry.
Oh,
I was scared.
Democrats
I was thinking
butting
about
in as
myself.
usual.
I didn't want to be labeled anti-Semitic. I didn't want to get canceled and lose my career. I didn't want to lose fans. I didn't want to offend anyone. But at a certain point, I couldn't believe those voices anymore. My heart had just enough cracks in it that the light of Palestinian resistance, struggle, and unwavering faith cracked it open. I was experiencing what happens when the internal pain from being silent outweighs the risk of speaking up in moments of injustice. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you learn the real history, you can't unlearn it. Once you get past the media and the White House focusing solely on October 7th, once you begin to look at October 6th, 5th, 4th, and the 75 years before of oppression and displacement, that's when the truth opens up. And once you look under the hood and realize our government officials are bought and paid for by the Israel lobby, you can't look at our so-called democracy the same way. Once you understand that our tax dollars are funding a genocide that we are watching in real time in the palm of our hands, I believe it is our moral obligation to adamantly protest the atrocities we are witnessing and funding, or we are complicit. But lecturing others about morals doesn't work. I've tried. I post more. I share directly from Palestinians in Gaza. I uplift the beautiful Jewish voices in solidarity. I am inspired by scholars and academics, those that have spent their lives researching and learning, dispelling notions that Judaism and Zionism are connected. I write songs. I try to channel the insanity that I feel inside. But I don't know how to deal with this mad world that we were not meant to metabolize. The gaslighting, the lying, the bias, the language, who is a terrorist and who isn't, disregard of international law, disregard of American law, rewriting history, the erasure of truth in our schools. Don't you see it? Don't you get it? We have to fight. I get louder, but in the process, the last 6 months, I have become hardened. My heart that was open in October of 2023 feels distant at times. My ability to meet people where they are at has declined. My judgment of those to look away, remain silent, or centering their own fear has only risen as the months have gone on. I have wanted the world to wake up so desperately that a part of me has fallen asleep. And I keep coming back to the question, how do we get people to care? How do we get people to care? And it stumped me for the last 18 months. And in this last week, I've realized I've been asking the wrong question. The question isn't how we get others to care. It's how can we be of the utmost service to humanity? Because change occurs when we cultivate our own light, not dimming ours to match another's shadow. Change doesn't occur by calling each other out, but by calling each other in. Change isn't achieved in righteousness. It isn't found in resentment. Change doesn't happen with shaming another. No one has a spiritual awakening from being yelled at and hearing your own voice reverberate throughout the echo chamber of folks that already feel the same way that you do isn't stopping Israel and the United States any faster. True change occurs in the spirit. You cannot transmit love if you don't have it yourself. You can't force empathy and compassion on another if you lose those gifts along the way. If I am righteous with my heart closed, pointing the finger and yelling at people who feel differently than me, I am drinking the same poison I am protesting against. Division, them, us, right, wrong. So in this moment of dire urgency, with the next phase of genocide and ethnic cleansing underway, with our feeds flooded with a new era of martyred innocent Palestinians, when we open up our phones with our rage, our tears, our unanswered pleas in the face of a fascist government, how can we bring people in? How can we meet people where they are at? Coming to the table with all the stories we have been told, with all the baggage our ancestors accumulated along the way.
Select blinds, no
All right.
drill.
Think that'll be
I was
it.
going to say just keep letting them play. We'll skip commercials, but
I can't skip the commercials. I don't pay for it, but
I don't
yeah,
either.
I think that's a good place to end it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was fantastic, and yeah, everyone go check out the Macklemore speech, and to see the full thing. But yeah, I don't pay for YouTube, so
Yeah, I'm not going to give Google my money. Sorry.
I know.
Empathy is the greatest superpower and driving force for change.
Yes. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sunny FX. Yes.
Yes. Sunny effects.
Yes. And thanks everyone for coming and hanging out with us. And yeah, it was a heavy show, but a hopeful show. We'll see what happens this week. This is a big week in Palestine. So people are coming from all around, and the ship is coming, and the awareness is at an all-time high. I'm sure it's at an all-time high.
Yes.
So we're very hopeful that the pressure is being put on.
Yeah.
So
And thanks for staying on a little longer. And
Yeah.
of course,
Yep. Thanks
we're
everyone.
here because, many people do a lot of different things. All of it's important.
Yep.
We're pushing the tool that's not being utilized now. We've got protests. We have other organizations doing their thing. People are finally starting to understand that the Democrats it's just a ruse. They've been doing this forever, and people aren't believing it anymore.
Yeah.
The one thing that we haven't tried in a long time is supporting a party that will not sell out.
Right.
So,
Right.
thanks
third
everybody.
parties- yep. I was going to say third parties have been successful before, and that was Lincoln. So
yep.
it can be done. It absolutely can be done. So please support us in any way you can.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. See you on Wednesday.
Bye now.
Bye.
Uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising, we're rising up. It's an uprising. Fight the power. It's an uprising.